If you can dream and not make dreams your masters.
Welcome po sa ating lahat. You are now here on the last day of Destiny by Design. After all this time, I thank you for staying and finishing this course. You are now creating your personal goals and desires. Na sa ngayon, we will just consider them as one. You have to remember that there are so many things that are influencing you 24/7. You just have to be conscious that it is you who is laying down your goals and not being unwittingly programmed by other people. Tingnan po natin, in spite of the clear lack of true happiness produced, here, up to now, are the top 3 most popular goals. When we hear stories of people who have pursued these 3 goals, wealth, beauty, and status, you will see something in common. Yung happiness po nila was like a rushing wave. Strong in the beginning, but never lasting. It is because the world has decided what is happiness. And yet, pag tinignan po natin, ito pong happiness na to, it is just a product of very clever marketing. Nakakaawa po kasi I have yet to see real people who have achieved this remain happy. On the contrary, karamihan po mga nakita ko, they live desperate and sad lives. Even if they are wealthy, they are beautiful, and they have status. Now, in these last 2 lessons, you will now be building your dream, which is just like building your own dream house. Kapag nagpapagawa po kayo ng bahay, there is a lot of long and careful preparation. Kailangan po yun. Otherwise, something bad may happen. And so, for the last 3 days and 6 lessons, yung pong nakaraan, they are all about preparation. In French cuisine, there is an important principle called mise en place. Mise en place. Panoorin po natin ito.
I love cooking and my friends know me as a foodie. If you can't see me in front of my laptop, I'm in the kitchen doing something. And if there's something in the culinary world that I've learned that can be applied in the corporate world, that's the concept of mise en place. Mise en place is a French term which literally means to set in place. If you're a chef or a professional cook, you can't start heating up the oil or cooking in your pot and pan until all ingredients are in place. Your beef must be marinated, the onion must be chopped, the vinegar or soy sauce must literally be in arm's length. In other words, you cannot start executing until everything has been planned out and prepared. The reason why chefs put so much value into mise en place is because they know that the best time to put the ingredients into the pot or pan is when the heat is at its optimal temperature. And therefore, the best time to do it is when your ingredients are already in place. Look at your corporate lives. Does this sound familiar to you? Yes. What separates successful people from the average is that they also create their own mise en place in their workstations first thing in the morning. They list down the top X things that they need to get done for the day. They list down the X people they need to collaborate with that day. And they divide the number of hours based on what needs to happen first and what needs to happen last. Sadly, we forget to create a mise en place in our workstations. You get to the office, hop into your cubicle, open your laptop, and you go into autopilot mode thinking you have to answer all your emails. But I don't care if you've answered 10,000 emails that morning, if that time could have been allotted for something else that's more important for business. And therefore, there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Mise en place, on the other hand, guides us to ask questions such as, do you have all the ingredients before you have to start cooking? And are you using the right ingredients in the first place? Tomorrow morning, I challenge you, create a mise en place and make sure that gets nailed down for the day, your mise en place for the week, for the year, and perhaps for the rest of your career. Good luck, and I wish you all the best.
Mise en place, it's just like preparing everything that you need. And one of the things that is very important, lalo na po sa bahay, are the foundations. Hindi ho ba? Sa Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 24 to 27, si Jesus Christ mismo nag-emphasize how important it is for a builder to wisely choose his foundation. Kapag nag-umpisa po yung project, ang trabaho po ng designer is to check the client site. Titingnan po niya, ano ba yung mga foundation doon? Titingnan po ng designer, ano bang itsura ng site? Ano yung quality ng land, ng soil, ng terrain? Titingnan din niya yung mga ibang bahay na nakatayo, ano ang ginawa nila? Failure to study these can result in a catastrophic construction failure. Kaya nga, the past 6 lessons were important in studying your foundations. And now we will be talking about all the fears and what could happen wrong. Para we can get it out of the way na. Fear. False evidence appearing real. Siguro yung iba sa inyo nadinig na to. False evidence appearing real. Kailangan po kasi natin pag-usapan yung mga fears kasi unang-una ito po totoo. Hindi ko naman sinasabi yung mangyayari. Pero isipin na lang natin na para itong yung mga stewardess sa aeroplano. Before you take off, meron silang pre-flight safety instructions. So, sinasabi po what might happen. So, ito po, pag-aralan din natin so that it does not happen to us. There are real dangers when you do goal setting. Unang-una na, tignan po natin ang survival rate. Can you imagine that? Galing siguro ng mga researchers na yun, ano? For them to say that only 6% or less of people are really able to follow their dreams. So, what do we do? I am so happy that you are still here. At least alam ko po that you are now trying to be part of that 6%. And now, ito po yung carelessness that follows if you are not prepared to do the right goal setting. Makikita po natin na kung tutusin, very self-explanatory naman yung mga dangers. It's really more of we have made wrong expectations or wrong assumptions. Kaya nga, here, when you start your goal setting, we have to make the right assumptions, yung realistic. And you have to make the right expectations para sa ganon, Hindi po tayo na-frustrate. Sometimes kasi, even these frustrations, pagka hindi natin nakuha kagad yung gusto natin, they tend to hinder us from proceeding. So, your preparation and planning will hopefully prevent you from either falling off yung sinasabi kaninang cliff or committing the 7 deadly sins of goal setting. Pero sometimes, the enormity of things to do, parang inisip mo, Brother Milo, ang dami ko palang gagawin. It's enough to freeze you. Parang ayaw mo na mag-umpisa kasi napakadami. It's like a big elephant. So, how do you fix an elephant-sized problem? Ito po yung lesson. How to eat an elephant.
Here's a popular and well-known saying used when tackling big goals and huge problems. How do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. When you are taking on a big goal or something new like saving for a home, finding a special relationship, or even getting over a broken relationship, it can feel like you are sitting down to eat a huge elephant. It's big and tough, and it looks like there's no end in sight. Expectations of how you will feel when you finish this huge elephant-sized goal or problem are soon brought back to the daily reality of eating yet another elephant steak, an elephant stew, or elephant sausage. Setbacks along the way will test your resolve to keep you going and even tempt you to quit, leaving you feeling disappointed, depressed, and failing yet again. Now here is the secret to eating an elephant no matter how big it is. To some people it sounds really silly, but it works. After taking a bite, celebrate the activity and not the outcome. After every bite you take, celebrate that you are a legend and a hero for taking a bite and taking action no matter what the result or the outcome. After all, if you wait until you are finished eating your elephant, it could be years and years before you get there. And just imagine how many thousands of celebrations you could be missing out on. Overcoming the feelings of being overwhelmed and disappointed is a challenge for us all, and focusing attention on the small activities that you do every day and then celebrating that you have taken action towards your goal is the key to success. This is how to support yourself and the people in your life to keep going no matter what the size, shape or circumstance of the elephant in your life. So here's how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time, and celebrate the activity and not the outcome.
And so, nakita nyo naman na yun naman palang elepante, pwede naman palang i-chop-chop natin hanggang maging pira-piraso. Maring matagal nga, pero sa totoo lang po, you will be able to chop that elephant and sooner or later, mauubos din po lahat yan. Hindi naman kasi natin kinakailangan gawin lahat at the same time. Kaya nga minsan yung iba natatakot . Pero if you attack the problem in a bite-sized way, mauubos din po yan. And now, the SMART goals. I know you've heard of SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bounded. It is self-explanatory, and in fact, you can watch these instructional videos sa YouTube. Napakadami po on SMART goals. Kinakailangan naman kasi specific, dapat po alam nyo exactly, well-defined, hindi pwedeng very vague. Measurable, kinakailangan malaman nyo yung start at yung finish para malalaman nyo gano'n ba kalaki, gano'n na ba yung progress nyo. Attainable, it has to be realistic. Yung attainable and realistic, it must mean that you know what you want to do and you also know your capabilities. And then time-bounded. It has to set a time. Hindi pwedeng forever. Wala pong nangyayari kapag forever. Mag-set po kayo ng realistic deadline and see if you need to adjust. That is SMART goals. And then when you all have your goals, pwede na namang ayusin yan, into what we call the goals pyramid. You have short-term goals, mga 1 to 2 years. You have medium-term goals, mga 3 to 4 or maybe 5. And then you have long-term goals, 5, 10 and above. Pero ito mangyayari. You have short-term goals muna, marami yon. Maganda yon eh. The short-term goals actually should be many. Bite-size, parang yung sinabi natin sa elepante. It must be able to get you started. Parang, ito po yung mga magandang incentives eh. Small, realizable, easy to do. At least, you get the ball rolling. Moderate goals, yun po yung mga milestone goals, the more important goals. So, that will build on the success of your short-term goals. And then it gets you closer and closer to the peak. Yung main life goals, yun po mga big goals talaga, that will transform you. Totoo naman talaga, the transformation happens later. It takes time. Kasi at the end, the peak is the great big vision. And that is you and God. Whatever that vision is from God, kayo po, you will attain that if you follow this goal pyramid. Siguro, kung nahirapan pa rin kayo to sort it out, napakadami, In which case, talaga naman po sa umpisa, napakadami. Meron po tayong tinatawag na the SWOT matrix. It is used for you to see your strengths and weaknesses, the opportunities and hurdles you may face. Yun pong SWOT matrix, para din po yung yung Eisenhower matrix. It's just that dito, instead of you're talking about the urgency of things, dito tinitingnan natin yung capability, Kaya nga ililista nyo yung inyong weaknesses at yung inyong strengths. Tsaka titingnan ano ba yung pwede nyo gawin at then yung mga humahadlang sa inyo. It's rather a good matrix for you to realize, that means opportunities will come faster. Hurdles will be much more difficult to do. Ngayon, weaknesses and strengths. Well, maganda po yun para sa ganun. For example, kung ikaw baldado naman pala, tapos ang gagawin mo, ang goal mo is to climb Mount Everest, medyo matagal-tagal mong magagawa yon, di ba? Kaya nga realistic. Alam mo dapat yung strength mo. Yung strength mo, kung ano ba, itong magaling na magaling ka dito, itong mga kaya na kaya mong ginagawa, immediately, goals that will be supported by this portion, mas madali mong magagawa. Goals that are supported, that are hindered by your weaknesses, mas matagal mong magagawa. That means you have to conquer these hurdles and overcome your weaknesses. See? SWOT. It's a matrix. As a guide, meron po tayong gagawing experiment. 3 activities that could be achievable in 1 to 2 years. If you think you have more goals, then gumawa pa ulit kayo. Pero we will limit it to this. 3 activities. Make a list of 5 things I want to remove in my life. Five things you want to remove, You want to remove in your life. Hindi po, wag niyo pong isipin yung problema ng ibang tao. Sa'yo lang. Inyo lang. Wag niyo nang isipin yung hindi nyo gusto yung ugali ng inyong kapatid. Hindi po ganun. Ano po yung gusto nyong matanggal sa buhay nyo and you want to do it in 1 to 2 years. Remove. Next, 5 things I want to improve in my life. So, meron na po kayo nakikita maganda. Para lang kulang lang sa follow through. Meron parang hindi masyadong tumatakbo, di ba? So, ano yung pwede nyong gawin para gumanda pa itong narito sa buhay nyo? Kaya nga, improve. So, yung una po is remove. Yung pangalawa is improve. And then the next, another set of 5 things. 5 things I want to move in my life. Meaning, Gusto nyo mangyari ito sa buhay nyo, kaya lang ngayon wala pa. So, when you write this down, isipin nyo, ano kaya yung gusto kong mangyari sa buhay ko? Diba? Maganda yan. You can imagine everything that you want happening and write it down. Kung kulang pa yung 5, sige, gawa pa kayo another 5 and another 5 and another 5. Pero tandaan natin, ang goal natin dito is dapat within 1 to 2 years. It's just an experiment kasi later on, you will do this for your medium goals and then your long-term goals, di ba? Pero dito muna tayo sa short-term goals para may exercise tayo in how to do things. So, again, remove, improve, and move. Tigli 5.
If you can dream and not make dreams your master.
And now we come to the final lesson. Again, I thank you na nakapagtiyaga po kayo all this time and now you will see the benefit of your labor. Hindi ba sinabi ni Paul, now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ngayon po, gagamitin natin yung sinasabing mighty power, yung dunamis power. Si Lord po ang naglagay niyan sa loob natin. Now it's about time we use them. It's time we make use of all those talent coins na binigay sa atin ng Panginoon, di ba? Naalala niyo po yung the parable of the talent coins? Invested things that God has given to you, paano natin mamumultiply yun? Paano natin magagawang maganda? How can we glorify God and at the same time improve ourselves? There will be a continuous looping process of assessment and review. If there are any changes, it's okay to make changes. Pero ang mangyayari, it's now full speed ahead. Ito naman ang gagawin natin isa pa. Do a mise en scène. Ulit, I advise for you to do a mise en scène. Kanina, mise en place. Ngayon, mise en scène. To give you a wider view of your project. Ang mise en scène means to be able to see everything in front. Para pong sa stage To be able to see everything that you need in front. So, gawin natin po para nagpapagawa tayo ng bagong bahay. Nag-iisip kayo, nag-imagine kayo ng vision. So, meron kayong lote, iniisip nyo, ano kaya itsura ng bahay nyo? And then, meron po kayong kasama, meron kang hinire na professional, tutulungan to put on paper your ideas. And then, siya will go to the site, they will see, pwede kayang itayo itong pinapangarap nyo, baka naman hindi pwede. And then, they will put it into more formal, concrete form. And then, babalik ko din sa inyo. Then, paikot-ikot yon until you get everything right. Swak yung design, swak to sa lote. Today, you have the power to transform your mental thoughts into a physical reality. You can dream and make your dreams come true. Katulad nga sinabi natin dati, blue sky. Your sky will be your limit. It's not my limit. You will be setting your own limits. Kaya sana, make it blue sky, as high as you can. And to start off with the mise-en-scène, I advise you to start a dream board. Itong dream board to, yung, siguro po, you get a piece of big board like a cartolina or an illustration board o kahit na anong malaking board na pwede nyo gamitin, mga karton. And then dun po, ang ilalagay nilang po, pictures of the things that you think will make you happy. Things that you want to happen in your life. Kahit po maglagay din kayo ng mga pictures ng everything that you've always wanted, places you want to go, things you want to own, becoming a person, qualities that you want to see in your life. Kahit po maglagay din kayo ng mga quotes that will encourage you, quotes that will empower you, inspirational quotes. Ilagay niyo po lang everything that you think will help you visualize that vision na sinet out nyo for you, yon ilagay nyo sa isang dream board. Kaya po maganda yung dream board kasi yon malakihan. So in one isang tinginan, you can see everything that you want to happen in your life. Kaya nga lang, it's public. Kahit sinong pumasok sa kwarto nyo, makikita yon. Kaya lang, ang maganda doon, visible na concrete mo na pag sinabi mo gusto kong bumili ng sasakyan, nandyan yung sasakyan, hindi yun parang hazy, hindi mo alam kung anong brand, hindi mo alam kung anong kulay, dapat po dito, as concrete, clear, as realistic as you can. Okay lang po, kung gusto nyo for example ng kotse, you specify the brand, ilang gulong niyan, gaano yung kalaki, pangdalawahan ba, pangpamilya, ano bang kulay, anong model, isipin nyo na po. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, be specific. Hindi pwedeng car. Anong car? Dapat specific. It will be a reminder of what you clearly want. The more specific the picture, the better. And now, it will give you a wider view of your goals. Pag nandyan yan, patsa-patsa nandyan. Nandito yung gusto kong mabiling kotse. Ito yung gusto namin bahay. Ito yung gusto kong career. Ito yung gusto kong mangyari sa buhay ko. Gusto ko, I'm a good speaker. Gusto ko, I want to learn foreign languages. Lagay nyo every pictures that will remind you of those goals. Gusto ko mag-start ng ministry. Gusto ko mag-feed program. Gusto ko magkaroon ng outreach. Lahat po. Maghanap po kayo sa internet. Kunin nyo ng picture. I-print nyo and then ikabit nyo doon. That is how you get a big, parang ang chapsuy pa, sa umpisa parang chapsuy. Basta i-patch nyo lang dyan, Lagay lang kayo ng lagay hanggang magsawa kayo. Kung kulang ang isang board, kumuha kayo ng isa pa. Ang importante dito, lahat po na nasa utak nyo, ilagay nyo. Ang makakatulong doon yung ginawa natin kanina, yung remove, improve, and move. Yung tatlong yon, magkakaroon kayo ng guide. Ano ba yung mga remove? Ito, pag ginawa ko to, mare-remove ito. Pag ginawa ko to, mag-i-improve ako. Pag ginawa ko to, I will move. Diba? Ganon. That's why I want you to do that exercise so that it will help you form kung ano may elements na ilalagay nyo sa dream board nyo. Kagandahan po ng dream board, it is not permanent. So you can just remove or add more pictures or less. Nasa sa inyo yun. At ang maganda pa nga dyan, yung iba, kapag meron silang nagawa doon, natanggap na somehow, it already materialized, it happened, tatanggalin nila at ilalagay lang sa isang logbook. Sasabihin na, ito, nilagay ko ng this date. Ito, nakuha ko on this date. Meron kayong accomplishment log. Tinanggal nyo na yung picture na yon. You know, in the end, people will judge you anyway. So do not live your life to impress others. Ito po mga nilalagay nyo sa dream board nyo. It's not for others to see so that they will be impressed. Bali wala po yun, sayang. Live your life so that you will impress yourself. There are people who love to write. Kaya nga yung iba, instead of a dream board, they have a dream journal. Ngayon, dream journals are for people who are more private. Para bang nagiging personal diary eh. Only you can see them and maybe anybody na gusto nyong ipakita, pabasa yung journal nyo. Pero at least dito, you can now include thoughts and reactions. Diba? Kasi kanina, nakikita lang natin pictures. Hindi natin naisip sa utak, bakit inisip niya yun? Diba? Pag nakita mo, nilagay ni Brother Milo, kotse. Siguro dahil gusto niyang bumili ng kotse. Nilagay ni Brother Milo, New York. Baka meron siyang gustong puntahan sa New York. Nilagay ni Brother Milo, Holy Land. Siguro gusto niya magkaroon ng Holy Land travel, di ba? Yung mga ganon. So, dun sa isa, we can only assume bakit nilagay nila yung pictures na yon. Pero sa dream journal, you will now include your thoughts and reactions. Hindi po ito para sa lahat because some people love to write and some people don't like to write. Ako po, minsan merong, dati I tried journaling. It did not work. Hindi po ako yung tao na nagsusulat araw-araw. Pero some people, they write. So, if you are that kind of person, get a dream journal. Get kahit na anong notebook na hindi ginagamit o kahit nga yung mga malalaking mga notepad. Basta, anything that you can write and write your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings. Why do you want these things in your life? Why have you chosen to remove these things? Why have you chosen to move these things? Why have you chosen to improve on these things? Mas maganda diba for people, eto ngayon na maalala mo yung bakit, kasi naisulat mo eh. So you will remember yung nararamdaman mo. And at least dito sa entry, you will be able to understand why you're writing them down. Kung merong dream board at merong dream journal, hulaan nyo, ano yung susunod? May hybrid. Ang tawag po doon, a life journal. Ang life journal naman, katulad ng sinabi ko sa hybrid, there are some people who have these big notebooks at doon po, they love to write and at the same time, they love to collect pictures. So, it's a mixture of both the dream board and your dream journal. Pero dito, ito po parang, yung iba ang tawag na scrapbook, yung iba ang tawag na slam book. I just call it a life journal. Dito, not only do you write things about what you want to happen, incidents, emotions, feelings, pero kung gusto nyo ilagay yung picture, ilagay nyo rin para mas kumpleto, di ba? Ang tawag dito kasi sa mga taong ito is kinesthetic. There are people who like to learn things, multiple media type. So they want to see visually, they want to see things. So yun po, kinesthetic ang tawag doon. Kaya meron sila mga tinatawag na life journal. Katulad pong ito mga papakita ko. See, halo pong pictures and notes. The adventure of life is to learn. The purpose of life is to grow. And the nature of life is to change. Sayang, kung meron lang tayong opportunity, pwede po tayo mag-share a dream. Dati po kasi, when situations permitted, meron pong share a dream. Marami pong gumagawa nito where people, actually, it's fun. They make their dream boards or dream journals or even their life journals at tapos they do it in a group. And then they compare. Parang nagiging group activity. Nagdadala sila ng maraming magazine, nagugupitan sila, hiraman sila ng magazine, and then they compare boards. Ang minsan na maganda doon, pag nakita nila yung board ng isa, naisip lang, aba, gusto ko rin yun, ba't hindi ko naisip? So, nadadagdagan. Yung isa naman, aba, tama yung ginawa niya. Dapat pala ganun ang ginawa ko. See? People learn from each other, di ba? Hindi to kopyahan. Bale, wala pag nakopya kayo. Kasi that means, kinokopya nyo yung dream ng ibang tao. That's not the way you do it. You get inspired by how these people do their work so that you can do your own work. Diba? No use dreaming for a car again, tapos wala ka naman palang pagpaparadahan at hindi ka naman palang marunong magmaneho. See? Ganun po yon. So, sana po you can share a dream event. Pero, alam mo, you can start with a small group like sa pamilya nyo. Maybe if you start doing this, you can ask your partner, your husband or your wife, or your brother, or your parent, kung sino man nasa sa loob ng bahay nyo, you can talk to them about sharing a dream. Baka you'll be surprised at what they want. Gawin niyo po to, and maybe you can learn from each other. And then, meron pong isang principle na challenge sa atin. Yun naman po tinatawag na Pareto principle, which is actually the direct opposite of sky is the limit. Si Pareto principle means, can you achieve success with the least amount of effort? Diba? So, maybe you can get 20% of effort and achieve 80% of success. So that means, isipin po daw natin, kailangan mo ba to para sa inyong kaligayahan? Diba? It's direct opposite. Pero, he's actually challenging us. Alam ba, ang dami natin nilagay na pictures, ang dami nating sinulat, ang dami natin ginawa. Sinasabi, ito ang gusto ko, these are my goals. The Pareto principle will now be a filter. Kailangan mo ba talaga yan? Diba? It's a good principle kasi it will challenge you to think, ako ba ang nag-isip nito? O ako ba ay na-influence ng ibang tao? Ito ba ay kaligayahan, gusto ko talaga ito? O ito ba ay kaligayahan dahil sinabi po ng TV, sinabasa ko sa newspaper, na napanood ko yung celebrity? Yon. The Pareto principle will challenge you to think, maybe you can do things with less na galing po sa inyo. It's also useful so that you know, maybe because you will be intentional, then you can choose ano yung talagang nagpapaligaya sa iyo. So therefore, that means you can use your time and your efforts more wisely. And now we come to the nitty-gritty. Doing the goals itself. Now, isipin po natin, people respond better to positive motivations rather than negative ones. Ano ba example? I want to be healthy is a positive motivation. I want to lose 5 pounds kasi ang bigat ko is a negative motivation. See, may difference. I want to be mobile so that I can go places is a positive motivation. I want to buy a BMW car, it's a negative motivation. Why? I'll give you an example dito. Meron po akong kakilala, sabi niya, I want to buy a BMW X5. Very specific. Sabi ko, Brad, bakit X5? Kasi ang hawak niya ngayon is a Toyota. And sabi niya, he wants a better family car for him and his family. Bakit niyo po naisip na BMW? Kasi nakita ko yung BMW, ang ganda eh. Now, hindi ko naman sinabi sa kanya na nakasakay na ako sa isang BMW. Yun mismong model na sinasabi niya. Ang problema, it's not that big a deal. Ngayon, sabi ko, Brad, maybe there are other cars that are, that can function to move your family in a better way. merong Hyundai. Yung brand na inaasam-asam mo na BMW is easily 3 to 4 times the price of the car that you're using right now. Maybe you just get a new model, a nicer model, an upgrade. It won't cost you that much. Nabasa mo ba yung review ng BMW? Noon maganda ang BMW, quality. Pero ngayon lumalabas, a lot of people are complaining. For the brand, nagtataka sila bakit ang daming mga recall, ang daming mga technology fail. Kasi ang BMW, pinapagawa na lang sa China eh. Wala nang BMW na ginagawa sa Germany. So, minsan nakakalimutan natin, you have to be learned for you to be able to really want what you want. Hindi pwedeng, gusto ko BMW. Bakit? Kasi, karamihan ng kapitbahay ko naka-BMW. Yun na nga yung pisa na mali eh. Nahahawa ka lang eh. Hindi mo inisip na lahat pala na may BMW, sirain. Oo nga, sikat ka. Pero sirain. So, bakit po kailangan ng sakit ng ulo? See? Kaya lang, na-fixate siya sa BMW. So, dapat maging, hindi ko sinasabi na huwag kang bumili ng BMW. Well, kung kaya mo yung sakit ng ulo, why not, di ba? Pero still, get a positive motivation. Like for example, meron dati, bata. Ang motivation na, ayoko nang mag-cheat sa exams kasi hindi maganda. Tama. Pero kasi, that is a negative motivation. Ang negative motivation, ayoko na mag-cheat sa exam kasi pag nahuli ako, papaluin ako, paparusahan ako. A positive motivation is, I want to pass my exams, so I will study harder. Diba? Positive motivation, negative motivation, same results. Ganon din po. Meron like another example. Gusto ko nang mag-asawa. That is actually a negative motivation because hindi nasa sayo ang kapangyarihan mag-asawa. Dapat ang motivation mo is, I want to be a good person so that I can become a good partner choice. Diba? Ikaw muna. Be a person that is eligible and likable, and people would want to get in a relationship with you and marry you. Hindi pwedeng mauna yung gusto mo. Diba? Gusto mo mag-asawa, pero meron ka palang ugali na hindi maganda. Walang mangyayari doon. Kaya nga, positive motivations starting with you. Ito na po yung sinasabi ko, the last lesson. The blueprint. You need 9 areas in your life that need to be met. Nine areas. Basic life. Ginawa ko na lang po ito ng acronym. Basic life. Umpisahan po natin sa basic. Basic. Letter B. Body and wellness. Your physical needs. Ano po ang health condition nyo today? Are you taking your medications? Meron ba kayong mga maintenance na? Alam mo, yung iba po sa atin, dahil po sa tanda natin, meron na tayong mga maintenance. Does your family have a history of chronic diseases? Do you need regular checkups and lab results taken? And do you know what the results of these mean? Yung iba po, pag nagpapakuha ng result, hindi na po nila iniintindi. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng creatinine level, sugar level? Yung po mga hindi na pinag-aaralan, dapat po pag-aralan nyo. When you know these results, at least hindi kayo natataranta, waiting for the doctor to tell you. Do you exercise? Are you aware of the latest in medicine and nutrition? Are you aware of natural alternatives? All of these things form part of your needs for body and wellness. Kasi po, hindi ba nangyayari minsan, sa dami natin ng trabaho, nakakalimutan natin ang ating katawan. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng catastrophic failure in the end. Yung po lalo na, itong pandemic, minsan ang hirap magpa-appointment sa doktor. Pero ngayon po, ang mga doktor, nag-adapt, meron na ngayong teleconference and teleconsult. Ang mga laboratory, well, you just have to find a way to get your laboratories. If it's a regular test, kinakailangan po, magkaroon ka ng regular checkup. Kung ang mga coaching nga merong regular checkup, with or without the pandemic, katawan pa natin. A. Attitude and emotions. Ito na po yung ating emotional needs. What do you need to build up your character? Are there areas in your life that you need to improve? How do you handle your fears and struggles? Do you have depression and anxiety? What are you good at? And what are you bad at? Do you need any lifestyle or perspective modifications? You may not be able to control how others respond and react. Pero what can you do? Diba? Kayo po, you can do something about how you respond and react. Marami po dapat nating pinag-isipan yung emotions, yung pong loob natin, diba? Sometimes, there are certain issues within us na hindi natin na-address. And then makikita na lang natin yung isang tao sumasabog na lang, pumuputok. And makikita natin, oh, ba't ganun? Pero para siyang dinaramdam, ba't hindi sinasabi, di ba? Yun po eh. There are certain things that only you can address. Only you can see. So, you have to see ano po yung mga pwede kong gawin so that ma-address yung aking mga needs for my emotions. Next is soul and spirit, your spiritual needs. As Christians, we all have a calling from God. What is yours? We are all parts of the church. What part do you play? Do you have any useful skills and talents that you can use for God? Hindi po ba we are all encouraged to know Scripture? Do you know your Scriptures? What steps are you taking to know your Bible? Lalo pa ngayon, at least po dito sa WIN, we have yung mga BPI series, Biblical Principles of Interpretation, and meron pang mga methods of Bible study. These are classes that are offered free. If you can take them, why not, di ba? Anything to increase your knowledge of the Bible. How is your testimony? Do others outside your home and church know that you're a Christian? At marami pa pong iba. Ito po, it's just a small part kasi kayo po nakakalam what you need for your spirituality. So, dito po makikita natin, it's not just about the car that I want, the clothes that I want, and the courses that I want. Hindi lang po yun. Dito, lagay nyo rin pictures of, if you can tell me something about a testimony na gusto mong magawa. Maghanap ka sa internet, kapareho na, kunan mo ng picture, i-post mo. If you are the type na hindi sociable, gusto mong maging sociable, kumuha ka doon na somebody who's interacting. Kunan mo ng picture. I want to become like that. Ganun po. I want to be active in church. So, kumuha ka ng picture. Somebody doing something in church. I-post nyo doon. Ganun po yon. Something that will inspire you to become that person. Dahil ito po yung nararamdaman nyo sa inyo. I, intellect and mind, your mental needs. Hindi ba nadinig na to? An unused, underused mind is truly a waste. Hindi lang po to about IQ. Our brains, sabi daw, it is soaking up information 24/7, kahit daw tulog tayo, yung ating subconscious mind, it is absorbing information. What are you filling your head with right now? Ano ba yung mga pinapanood natin? Ano ba yung mga binabasa natin? Ano ba yung mga pinakikinggan natin? Ha? Baka naman pag binuksan natin ang utak natin, puro Netflix lang ang alam natin. Are you satisfied with what you know? Are you still curious about certain things? Is there more to your life that you'd want to explore? Something that could add value to you, and later on, you can even add value to others. Ito po ipa-plug ko. For those of you who are interested in many books, kaya lang you find so much, you find them so expensive, and then wala kayong oras magbasa, ito po sa YouTube meron 4-minute books. You subscribe to them, it's free, and you can get a download of the summary of books. Marami pong magagandang books. They will summarize it for you, and then you can get an idea what those books are about. And finally, sa basic, community. So, sinabi ko kanina, body, attitude, soul and spirit, intellect, community. Ano na po yung community? Your societal needs. No man is an island. Akala ko po dati nasa Bible yun, wala pala. You were never meant to be a monk, living outside and detached from society. Para lang hindi po tayo ginawa ng Panginoon para magtago. As Christians, we are called to be interactive. We are called to participate in society for the sake of the gospel. Kaya nga we are to go out di ba? Hindi sinabing you are to go into a cave at maghintay na lang ng katapusan ng mundo. We are all to go out and to reach out. That also means we have to become responsible citizens. So kayo po, how are you able to contribute positively to your community and even to your country? Marami po yan. Diba? Hindi ko naman sinasabing tumakbo lahat tayo sa barangay elections, pero you know that there are things that you can do. You can do something positive for your community that would not only be a great help to them, but also prove helpful for us. Tapos na tayo sa basic, punta naman tayo dun sa isa. Life. Leisure and interest. Your well-being needs. You know po, God created a Sabbath day for us to rest. We cannot go on healthily without rest. Many have tried it. It proved fatal for them. How do you rest? Nalala ko po dati, there's this story about this Indian CEO. Bata pa po siya. Sabi niya, he was healthy. He did the gym. He was, pag nakita he was fit. He ran. Lahat po. And then suddenly nakita nila, namatay. Nagtataka, why such a healthy-looking person would die? Vitamins, the right food, the right exercises. Alam niyo ba kung anong kulang niya? Tulog. Hindi pala daw halos natutulog. Because he's a CEO, he kept on thinking about his company. He only slept about 2 to 3 hours a day. Apparently, hindi kinaya ng katawan, inatake. You see? Akala natin, doing the vitamin stuff, doing the exercise and food, okay na yon. Hindi. You also need rest. How do you do your leisure? The body may take a break. And what about your mind? What do you do to relieve yourself of life's pressures? Meron po ba kayong mga interests? Meron po ba kayong mga hobbies? What do you do to stimulate or make you happy so that you have something to do when you're in a break? Diba? Hindi naman po pwede siguro puro tulog lang din. Something to do, maybe start a collection or do something that make you happy or maybe do a sports or whatever. What is something that will give you a relaxation? Income and career. Your financial needs. Ako, yung iba, minsan hindi nila nakakalimutan na dito po sa mundo, kailangan pa rin ng pera para umandar. Are you financially stable? Do you have any other safety nets? Do you handle money well? Do you manage your expenses? Meron po ba kayong utang? Are you satisfied with your work and your career? Are you having any issues at work? Do you have job security? Are your skills and knowledge being used in your work? Or are there any career opportunities available? Lahat po to pwede nyong i-explore as you tackle the issue of work. Kasi po, hindi naman po natin pwedeng isipin na yung pera palagi na lang kung saan-saan na lang nanggagaling. There is a certain responsibility in handling money. So, you have a responsibility to make sure you have income because you have expenses, di ba? Lalo pa kung pamilyado kayo. Family and relationships. Your intimate needs. Isipin po natin, there are no perfect relationships. How is your relationship with your spouse or partner? With your parents? With your children? Yung mga kapatid nyo, your siblings? Or your other relatives? Kumusta po yun? Are you aware of the love languages? Are you satisfied with your relationship? Are you also aware of the apology language? How do you handle irritations, misunderstandings, and conflicts? Napaka-importante po nito sapagkat kapag po magulo ang pamilya, meron po nagsabi that goes something like, no matter how successful you are, it will be nothing when you have a failure in the family. Finally, environment. Your spatial needs. Sabihin po ng spatial, the space surrounding you. Studies have proven that you operate much better within a space that you think is ideal. If you feel your space is clean, safe, and conducive for your activities, you will be more productive. Totoo po yun. Tanungin niyo po yung mga pastor na gumagawa ng kanilang mga sermon. They need a particular space. Gusto nila tahimik, gusto nila inspiring, gusto nila hindi nakakagulo sa kanila so that they may be able to produce their sermons. You will also carry that positive outlook to the other areas in your life. People who are happy, sabi daw, at home, are actually better workers in the office. And then, happy workers tend to become happy also at home. So, lumalabas pala that when you are happy in other areas of your life, this will also translate to you being happy, carrying that happiness into the other areas of your life. Kaso, here is the danger. That if you neglect any of these 9 areas, sabihin natin yung ibang areas, punong-puno kayo, pero meron po kayo nakalimutan na 1 or 2 areas in your life that may have consequences. Maaring yung pagkakulang doon, it will suck out the energy of the other areas. Nakita po natin yung like for example, mga katulad ni Steve Jobs. Very successful. And yet, lumalabas ngayon, he had a very bad relationship with his family. And then, nakalimutan niya ang kanyang health. He died of cancer. Why? Siya rin po yung mga katulad ng ibang tao. He rarely sleeps. He is overworking. Sabi nga na, I remember, merong article dati nung in-interview siya when he was just starting Apple. Sabi niya, he does not need sleep and rest. He will just have to do with vitamins and minerals and juices. Sabi ko, pwede ba yun? Apparently, hindi kaya. Kita mo, nagkaroon siya ng cancer. See, you think there are certain areas na pwede niyong itsapuera. Hindi. These 9 areas, basic. Body, attitude, spirituality, intellect, community, life, leisure, income, family, environment. Ito po, wala po ditong mas mataas, one is better than the other. These 9 are all important. Makakalimot kayo ng isa, dalawa dito, it will affect the others. Maniwala po kayo. Kaya nga napaka-importante that when you list down these 9 areas in your life, you will make sure that your dream board, your dream journal, or your life journal will be able to address all of these 9 areas. Kasi yung iba minsan puro body, yung iba puro material, so puro career and income. Yung iba puro spirituality, di ba? Nakakalimutan ng pamilya. Yung iba naman puro leisure. Wala namang ginawa kundi puro leisure. Hindi naman iniisip yung income. And kung balik-baliktad, yung iba naman environment. Hindi nyo kinoconsider, is it healthy for me to live in this environment? Can I do something? Can I make my environment cleaner? Better, quieter. Marami po tayong hindi naiisip. Kaya nga ngayon, when you do that dream board, mise en scène, nakalatag lahat, and then titignan nyo ito, 9 areas. Na-fulfill ko ba itong 9 areas ito? O meron dito nawawala? So ngayon i-compare natin. Ay, puro ano pala to, puro ganito ang akin na-fill. Wala ako dito sa isang area nito. Maglalagay ngayon ako. Yun ngayon ang advantage of knowing your dream board or your dream journal. I-compare nyo dito sa basic life needs and you have to say, Brother Milo, kulang pala ako dito. Eh di ngayon, punuin nyo ano yung kakulangan nyo doon at ilagay nyo doon sa priority ng dream board nyo. Kasi yun ang palagi nyong kulang eh. Diba? Yun ang palagi nyong nakakaligtaan, yun ngayon ang uunahin nyo. Dahil kasi yun yung palaging napapag-iwanan. Magiging balanse ngayon. And to be successful, we should do an assessment and review. Never stop making adjustments to adapt to the times. Those who cannot adapt will perish. Kaya nga, ito po yung success framework. You assess, you identify, you plan, you implement, you evaluate. And then, balikan na naman. Implement, evaluate, plan, identify, assess. Paikot-ikot lang po yan. It's never ending. Because as you go on through life, you will realize merong things that do not work. Akala nyo, eto na. Yung pala, it's not working. Eh di palitan. O i-adjust. O konting tweaking lang. If you don't have this kind of assessment and review process, maring meron pala pumapalpak na hindi nyo alam. Or, it's not set in stone. Hindi porket ginawa nyo doon, kitang-kita na naman hindi na applicable, pinagpipilitan nyo pa rin. Like for example, siguro ngayon pandemic, alam po natin na we cannot travel. So lahat po ng mga travel plans on hold. Now kung nakapako kayo doon sa travel plans nyo na hindi na babalik for now, magkakaroon lang kayo ng despair. Yun nga yung mga Japanese, they call it zetsubo, despair. You're despairing for something kasi nakahold. Yet, because of the situation, it won't open for now. So kayo ngayon, i-assess, okay? Kung ito hindi mo na pwede, anong pwede kong unahin? Di ba? May plano kayo. You will now evaluate. Lahat ito hindi pwede because of a certain situation. Nagkasakit ka, wala ka munang pera. O lahat ito, itabi lang muna. Hindi natin sinasabi i-cancel, itabi muna. Ano yung mga pwede mong gawin? You can learn new languages. You can go to the doctor and have yourself tested. Magpa-lab test kayo, di ba? Yan mga pwede nyo gawin ngayon. Allowed naman eh. You can do, for example, you can do Bible studies. Meron po tayong mga WIN program sa libre. Ang dami po nating pwedeng gawin. You can start arranging your emotions, your character. You can build your family. Ano ba yung mga issues sa pamilya nyo? Pwede nyo gawin yan, di ba? Yan, kaya nga mas maganda, meron tayong plano. Kasi kung meron tayong mga areas at nakita natin certain areas are open and certain areas are closed, itong open muna ang gawin natin so hindi tayo natetengan ng wala, di ba? Hindi po tayo katulad ng iba that are waiting for life to open up and it's not. Kaya ano nangyayari sa kanila? Desperation and despair. Tandaan po natin, even small changes will give you untold benefits as long as you become consistent. Kahit po maliliit, adjust, adapt, change. Dream, assess, do, and evaluate. Make this a habit. Panoorin po natin itong Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits by James Clear. Summary from 4-Minute Books. Written by Nicholas Gouquet and read by Craig Traylor. One-sentence summary. Atomic Habits is a definitive guide to break bad behaviors and adapt good ones in 4 steps, showing you how small, incremental, everyday routines compound and add up to a massive positive change over time. Favorite quote from the author. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Here are 3 lessons to help you use everything he's learned to break bad habits and form good ones. 1. Every time we perform a habit, we execute a 4-step pattern. Cue, craving, response, rewind. 2. If we want to form new habits, we should make them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. And 3. You can use a habit tracker as a fun way to measure your progress and make sure you don't fall off the wagon. Let's see what it takes to form new habits by learning from a true habit master. Lesson 1. All habits are based on a 4-step pattern, which consists of cue, craving, response, and rewind. When it comes to habits, James suggests that environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. That's why prompt is always the first step to perform any habit. It may not always be external, but most of the time it will be. Then 3 more stages follow to complete the 4-step pattern. Step 1. Cue. A piece of information that suggests there's a reward to be found, like a smell of a cookie or a dark room waiting to light up. Step 2. Craving. The motivation to change something to get that reward, like tasting the delicious cookie or being able to see. Step 3. Response. Whatever thought or action you need to take to get to the reward. And Step 4. Reward. The satisfying feeling you get from the change, along with the lesson whether to do it again or not. There are several popular methodologies that try to predict how and why we do what we do, such as Charles Duhigg's habit loop, Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies, or BJ Fogg's tiny habit behavior model. James offers a more refined version of what Duhigg described in the power of habit. And while all of these approaches are different, none of them are mutually exclusive. Lesson 2. To form habits, you must make them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. From the 4-step pattern he suggests, James then derives 4 laws of behavioral change, which correspond to one part of the loop each. Here they are, along with some ideas for how you can use them to facilitate good behaviors and to make bad ones harder. 1. Make it obvious. Don't hide your fruits in your fridge. Put them on display in front and center. 2. Make it attractive. Start with the fruit you like the most, so you actually want to eat one when you see it. 3. Make it easy. Don't create needless friction by focusing on fruits that are hard to peel. Bananas and apples are so easy to eat, for example. And 4. Make it satisfying. If you like the fruit you picked, you'll love eating it and feel healthier as a result. You can apply these to all kinds of good habits, like running, working on a side project, spending more time with the family, and so on. Conversely, do the opposite for bad habits. Make them invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. For example, you could hide your cigarettes, add financial penalties, get rid of the lighters, and only allow yourself to smoke outside in the cold. Lesson 3. A habit tracker is a fun and easy way to ensure you stick to your new behaviors. With a framework like this, making and breaking habits becomes fun. You'll likely want to tackle multiple things sooner rather than later, but it's important to not take on too much at once. An easy way to keep yourself accountable without becoming overwhelmed is to track your habits with a habit tracker. The idea is simple. You keep a record of all the behaviors you want to establish or abandon, and at the end of the day, you mark which ones you succeeded with. This record can be a single piece of paper, a journal, a calendar, or a digital tool like an app. This strategy is based on what's sometimes called the Seinfeld productivity hack. The comedian Jerry Seinfeld apparently marked this calendar with a big X every day he came up with a joke. Soon, his goal was to not break the chain. It's a simple but effective strategy to help you build good habits. And since habits are the compound interest of self-improvement, that's a process we should all start today.
And so we've finally come to the conclusion of Destiny by Design. Celebrate your dreams. I hope it was able to stimulate you to dream again. It was able to provoke you to start thinking of your possibilities. It was able to challenge you to do more than what's happening right now. And I do pray that you can become the person that you want to be, a better, bigger person, closer to God, and doing what glorifies God. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat, and thank you very much for attending. And again, that's all, folks.